Welcome to Goldboys Live, presented by Pickett Sports Boom Fantasy, breaking down one of the final nights of the NBA season. It's been a long run. We're almost there. We're almost to the playoffs, which is a great time of the year. We got the Masters on. We got a lot to talk about here. Brad Thomas, Brian versus the Books. What's going on, guys?
I'll let you go. I was gonna let you go first, but I'll take it because I like this time. I actually look forward to these shows. I think these are fun times to talk about the NBA, kind of break things down. I like the group we got here. We mentioned on Tuesday that Joel Embiid needed to have a big night against Boston to lock up MVP. He did. A lot has happened the last few days, and we finally get to look ahead to the playoffs. I'm excited.
I'm actually glad that whole thing is over. Especially, it was exhausting for me having tickets on both Embiid and Jokic. Like, I just didn't want to have to stress Giannis. And then I bet on Giannis last night, and he literally was probable. Like, he was probable. I think I had a show at like maybe 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
So at 6 o'clock, he was probable. And then my show ends. I don't check like any news. I go to the gym. The game started. I'm like, okay, time to check to see how Giannis is doing. And he's not even playing, out,
Yeah.
knee soreness or something. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God.
I
Is
think
there
if,
a
if
bet to
him
be made
and
here with Embiid minus 900, Jokic plus 750, Giannis 8-1? Is this just completely
My
over?
my only thing is that if you have a good Embiid ticket and you're worried that Giannis made enough of a push, you can throw $10 on it to hedge. But that's really the only bet is if you already have a good ticket for somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. I'm
Seems
not
like there's an
putting more on.
appetite to give this award to Embiid too. That's what
Yeah,
that's the thing.
and after that game on Tuesday, it's just
52
one of
points
it's
But
it's
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 one
52 points though, but it's also a matter
on
of
25 shots too.
yeah, 25. It's just like the 85% true shooting. It was like I was watching one of the ESPN shows where they were saying, it was a great game, but it was realistically one of like the better games you've ever seen someone play to
Yes.
score 52 on 85% true shooting. So yeah, I mean I know it's only one game, but it just kind of felt like when they were teetering and two other guys are resting, one lost to the Rockets, the other put up 52. It just kind of seemed like that late game push kind of sealed it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's really flawed thinking to for these voters to be like, all right, Embiid had a good game late in the season, let's give it to him. I just think they're dying to give Embiid the award just because he's been close so many times. Jokic just won it twice, two in a row. Giannis has won it twice. So I think there's just an appetite to give it to Embiid. So I do think they'll give it to Embiid. No bets for me in this market. The playoffs are pretty much set in the East. There's a lot more clarity in the East. We know the teams, we know some of the matchups. There's a little jockeying, but for the most part, the East is sort of set. The West is more interesting. We know 9 of the 10 teams. There's one spot up for grabs. It's OKC and Dallas. They are tied with 2 games to play. OKC does have the tiebreaker, so OKC essentially has a half game lead. There's jockeying for playing, which is sort of a mess after you get through. The Clippers are probably going to avoid the play-in, but there's a bunch of teams for these playing spots. Dallas plus 135 to get the play-in. OKC minus 165 to get the final spot. So OKC is still the favorite. They have 2 games left. OKC at Utah, 7-point favorite tonight. Oklahoma City is. And then home versus the Grizzlies Sunday. Grizzlies might not need the game. Dallas home versus the Bulls. And then they get a layup home versus the Spurs. Is Dallas at plus money worth a shot? What are you guys' thoughts here on the final team that gets in? Cleveland's going to play the Knicks in the first round. Cleveland's minus 180.
That's
So
awesome.
Cleveland's locked in here. Magic minus 9 against the Cavs. I mean, you guys take this. Do you have any
I'll
interest
take
in this?
it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna be at the game. My lovely account executive Whitney told me that they're on the verge of selling out. They had 2 tickets left. That was yesterday, so we'll see how many Magic fans actually show up. But I'm actually gonna take Paulo Banchero 20 plus points. It's his last chance of the season to show out for all of the Magic faithful. There's no Mobley, no Allen, so we know that Banchero can't shoot, and he's gonna get most of his points primarily in the inside. And they have Robin Lopez, but he obviously is no Mobley or no Allen. So I like Banchero points in this. I think it's kind of even blowout proof because if the Magic go up huge, I don't think they take them out until like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So Banchero to get 20 points
I
against
actually like that.
pretty much no one, it feels comfortable. I wouldn't say it feels like something I'm in love with because we know how the NBA goes, but it
I
feels
mean,
comfortable to me.
if you're listening to the show, that's how you know it's a good quality product. You just hear Brad saying, "I'm not super into it," but no, but I like that because you're going to rest a lot of guys, and I agree with you. Last home game, kind of one of those show up for the crowd, maybe get a nice win before you head out, score 25, and just kind of pump them up a little bit. I actually will probably tell you on that if I could find good odds. I'm not going to shop right now on the air, but I like that. I don't really have any other bets for this game, but that one it actually stood out to me, so I probably will tell you on that. Well, your audio. Well, I think Will's audio
is pretty. Yeah, that's cool. This time of year is pretty interesting too, because probably like you do too. Like we use all these different cheat sheets, all these different metrics,
None of
but
them
these
matter.
are like metrics against full squads, and so
Yeah.
like I opened up my metric sheet and I closed it really fast. I was like, Brad, stop thinking about it as what we've seen for the 80 other games in the season. Think about it as what we're seeing in this one isolated game where we have this player versus this player, this system versus this system.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things too, as I mentioned it yesterday. By doing like in the Discord and also like on these morning heater shows I've been doing for baseball. This final week of the season, I shift so much to baseball and I go so lower volume on NBA just because you're right. I mean, you could have all these models, all these sheets, all these data, and you can kind of just toss them out the window. I mean, you had a healthy Nikola Jokic and Denver team that played one half and then they sat the whole second half. So it's like you just kind of can't, I think it's a bad time of the year to try to like have a super high volume card and try to be like, oh, this team was good at this guarding this position. It gets super wonky. So I agree with you. And I found best price 20 plus for Bankera minus 115. I will take that with you.
How about is Magic are the Magic incentivized to lose with draft position? Can't they get in the top 5, or it's just incremental? It's not that big of a difference.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a difference. I think, especially like being a Magic season ticket holder, the way that the Magic for my Magic, I'm be transparent. My Magic season ticket like 3 years ago cost me like thousands of dollars less than it does this year, and we're not any better. We just have more hype, and I think that's the position the Magic are okay with taking. Is like they're okay with we just keep hyping our team up. We win. We want to win games. We don't want to care about the tanking aspect of it because we have to build a good, attractive product, especially if you want to start trying to get quality free agents in. Like Milwaukee wasn't always like this destination, this championship team. Like then they got Giannis. Now
I mean, it's Milwaukee, man. Like
now
no one wants
to
sign with Milwaukee for the location. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm with you guys, and I'm no interest in the side or the total.
None.
I guess we talked about this the other day. It didn't come through with Denver, Houston. I think they lost by a bucket. But when you get these two teams that don't care, maybe just play the over. I think you probably do all right playing some of these overs.
Or just play the underdog to score last. Just the safe bets.
Yeah,
went 3-3 on the big dog. So, but what's crazy, like I think only one of them had pretty bad odds, like minus 157. So you would have lost money.
Right.
All right. But it was still fun to monitor.
Heat Sixers. Sixers are going to be the 3 seed. They're going to play the Nets, it looks like, in round 1. It's not official, but we'll get lines on that series soon enough. The Nets magic number to clinch the 6 is 1. Heat are probably going to be the 7. So a lot more clarity here. Neither team really needs the game. Heat needed a little more if they have any hope of avoiding the 8 seed and trying to catch the 6, but they're pretty much going to be the 7. So Sixers laying 3 against Miami. Neither team really needs the game. Do you guys have any interest?
Honestly, I know I'm wearing my Sixers hat, and this is one of those things where we talk about countless times. Just because you like something doesn't mean you have to bet it. I like Embiid in this. I like, weirdly, Tobias Harris in this game. I like the Sixers in this game because I think the Sixers would love to win and officially knock out any chance that they see the Heat. You know what I mean? I think they would love to do that. But at any point, if they go up 12 or they go down 12, I feel like you see these starters get pulled so fast. You know what I mean? Like, if they can win this game, they would like nothing more than to do that, shut the door on them. But like I said, if you don't want to have Embiid playing 36 minutes in a loss or in a losing effort, like if it doesn't go like in a perfect scenario where they're up or like it's a 10-point game, I could just see Doc Rivers saying, all right, it's halftime. Embiid already logged 19 minutes. Harden's logged 18 minutes. Let's just pump the brake and kind of like scale it back. So I like the Sixers a lot, but like Brad said, sometimes you can't take metrics or you can't take everything in with a grain of salt, and you just have to maybe step back. And that's kind of where my thoughts are.
I'm kind of on the opposite of your thought process. I kind of thought I didn't like the 76ers, but it's pretty much for everything that you said while you're not betting them.
Yeah.
I think the motivation factor here is higher for the Heat They still haven't clinched their own division yet. And now they're playing a team who, yeah, the 76ers are going to try hard, but at one slight face of adversity, they're pulling the plug and they're just chilling, making sure they get into the playoffs healthy, especially when you have a guy like Embiid who literally carries the questionable designation every single time.
But
If
he's not today. He's not.
I know, crazy, right?
That's the weird part, is that I actually have friends that are taking all unders on their starters, and they're like, "Oh, like the Sixers aren't even going to try." I was like, I wouldn't say that. Like, I'm not saying that they're going to, but like, I think we agree that if the slightest like 15-point or like 12-point lead, then yeah, they'd probably get pulled. But yeah, I'm with you there. Where the same reason I can't bet it is probably where the interesting kind of thing comes up, where who knows who's going to come out early in this game, where you can see teams just be like, all right, screw this.
Yeah,
I mean go ahead.
I'm just gonna be quick. If I wasn't so unsure, I'd probably be on James Harden point rebound assist over 35.5. But it's juiced line and you don't know what's gonna happen, so that leaves me off him.
It's just such a wonky game.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like to bet. I don't like to guess, and I just feel like I'm guessing here with motivation. There's too many moving parts. So for what it's worth, this line was 5. It came down to 3, so there is some support from Miami people. Just I guess figuring it's a toss-up game, take the points. Yeah. I guess that's the mindset.
I actually want to get that. I want to get that WillHill quote on a pillow. I like to bet not guess, which is true. Which is like that's kind of like where I've been in this space for so long, where trying to tell people, you don't want to bet. Like, you don't want to bet to have action. You want to bet with purpose. And this is just a game where I'll watch the game. I mean, it's big Sixers fan, but I want us to win? Hell yeah. But the only person I could see prop wise is, I don't know if you saw James Harden mention that it's games 80 and we still have Tobias Harris in the corner and PJ Tucker in the dunker spot. I wouldn't be surprised if that 12.5 for Tobias Harris, who's been completely awful, wouldn't be surprised if he goes over that to maybe try to get him, going a little bit at the dunker spot and getting him some confidence for the playoffs.
Yep, totally agree. And you see this a lot with the Lamar Jackson story. People are like, oh, I think he's going to go there, so I'm going to bet accordingly. It's like, you don't know where he's going to go, so just wait till he goes
Lamar
somewhere.
Jackson? Like exactly. It's like, I think he's going to go there. What makes you think that? It's just, we're best friends.
Exactly. And by the way, Victor Hovland, 5 under Brad here. He's got a nice little 2-stroke lead. So anyone with Victor Hovland first round leader tickets is in good shape. What was his number? Do you know, Brad?
I think it was like 40. I don't bet first round leader too much. I think that
you hate fun. What is wrong? What do you mean you don't bet?
Will just went from I don't bet to bet or guess blah blah to like what you
that was the quickest 90-degree switch up there. I just spend so much time building models. I probably build like 4 different models throughout the build up, and then when I do a first round leader and they're not successful, and it's totally something like they had one bad hole that derailed their round, it kind of makes me angry and feels like I wasted my time. Because like you can't just build models for the tournament, top 20s and all that, and not build one for first round leader if you're a model guy.
Yeah, no doubt. So Hovland 500, the Masters, Goldboys Live, Picket Sports, Boom Fantasy. All right, the game of the night. The Spurs of San Antonio are hosting the Blazers of Portland. San Antonio is laying 4. The total's 227.5. Guys getting pulled left and right. I don't think Sharp's going to play. Both these teams are tanking actively. I would actually play the over here. I think this is one of those games where nobody cares. Nobody plays any defense. So I'll go over the 227.5. You guys have anything here? Spurs and the Blazers.
I will agree with you there and say the over might be the only play, because managers and coaches can tank, but players don't really tank. I mean, players go out there and just try to hoop. So this might be a game where it just, hey, I'll stay in 6 feet away from you. You make the shot, I'll make the shot on the other end, and just kind of let it roll.
You score 25, I score 25. We both go home looking good.
Let's make our averages look better. Like,
especially with these guys that don't play very much. You play 7 or 8 minutes a night, and you got a chance to play 30 minutes a night and drop 25 points. Hey,
I'll tell you what. You give me the 13th guy on the Spurs, and he's gonna make the shot, an open shot, 50% of the time. Like these guys are in the league for a reason.
Yep.
This would be like great if we had more lines available for 3-point guys for the Spurs, but they have like all of their non 3-point shooters listed.
Zach Collins for 6.
Yeah, like I'm not betting Zach Collins over 1.5 threes at plus 105. Like, it's not happening. I think the over's the way to go though, because there are some good shooters, good 3-point shooters on the Spurs bench who are gonna just chuck at will.
Agreed on the over. You guys agree on the over?
Yeah, I think that's like I said. I think that's the only play here. If you're trying to take a spread in this game, I'm sorry, I don't respect you as a person. That sounds mean, but if you're trying to guess who's gonna tank harder or who's gonna do whatever in this game, I just can't make a. Like I said, I like to bet, not guess, and this is just a guessing game for talking spread.
I will go one step further. Imagine the guy who's sitting there watching this game tonight without a bet on it. You must hate your life so much.
I'm a big Spurs fan. Oh, cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
He's like, yeah, I mean, we used to have season tickets with my wife before she left me. Spent too much money. Next game.
So I like over 227.5 there. This one does have some meaning. OKC, as we've mentioned, up to a 7-point favorite in Utah. OKC lost to the Hornets, who were tanking. They needed a buzzer beater at home to beat the Pistons. They struggled with the Blazers. They've played terribly the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I really like this team, but I like them as an underdog. I don't like them as a favorite. Utah, for all of their issues in terms of tanking and benching guys and trading guys, they've still been competitive. To me, this 7 looks like a lot. I like Utah on this spot. I don't know if they'll win the game, but I'll take the 7 here. What are you guys' thoughts here? OKC and Utah.
I lean the 7 as well. Like even, and this is not even just with what you said about the Thunder not looking great, because they haven't. But Utah against the Lakers, they were down what?
10 with 8, a minute and a half to go.
With a minute and a half to go. Brought it to overtime. They're scrappy. They're not going to give up. Like, even if their season's over, I think they proved the point that this season everyone had them like kind of written off. Like, oh, they got rid of everyone. They're going to be vying for the number 1 seed, and they fought. My favorite play from this game is actually SGA over 32.5. It's at -120 on BetMGM. I think SGA is gonna be able to score at will here. It's gonna be a high-paced scoring game. It's 239.5 as the over, and this is gonna be another game where there's not a lot of defense. But this is what's interesting about this Thunder team is how often, like, we always talk about good teams in the NBA or good basketball systems always get paint touches. This OKC team's like one of the best at getting the ball in the paint. And when that happens, SGA gets in the paint a lot. He either gets free shots, like these little like little fadeaways, or he gets contact. And he's like an 89% free throw shooter. I think he's going to the line a lot, which helps when you have someone who needs to score 33 or more points.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm with Brad here again. Sadly, the only play I could see in this game would be SGA. In this game, I don't really see many other angles that goes really beyond guessing, unless you want to back OKC that has a lot more to play with. But I mean, it's a 240 over under, so maybe if you want to find some guys like SGA or some of these other guys that could just thrive without a lot of defense being played.
Who had big nights the other day? Abaji had a big night. He scored, I think, 24.
Anyone on the Knicks?
And Horton Tucker had a big night. Maybe Horton Tucker with nobody else playing. Could Horton Tucker,
he could
20-something points? Let's see what his props are. Probably in the 20s. So
I didn't even look at him though, because I was like, Horton Tucker's gonna have a big night, and then
22-1 triple double for Horton Tucker.
Stop.
He's had some monster games here.
He really has.
Yeah. But I like the 7 here. I think the 7's a lot.
I think 7 is a lot. I wanted to see what Tucker's points, rebound, assists, 36.5. Wow.
No on the 22-1 triple double.
I put $5 on it just because you said it.
I thought you said it was a lock. I put a lot more on that.
If I win $110, like, heck yeah, cool.
You can buy some Girl Scout cookies for me that you never paid up on to anybody. Our poor audience.
This guy, yeah.
I did say you have to actually bet it. And I said, if you show me a slip, I will buy you Girl Scout cookies. Not one person showed me a slip.
We've had a lot of Girl Scout cookies plays this year where just these random teams win out of nowhere. And maybe that leads us into our next game. Suns now 10.5. What's up, Brian?
I was gonna say, I meant to text you guys in the group chat we have Tuesday when we did our show. I tracked it. It's in my spreadsheet, but dude, I think the big favorites in the first quarter went like 3-1 or something like that. Like the ones we talked about, I think like 3 of them covered their first quarter spreads. Because remember, there was like 4 or 5 games that were 15+ spreads. I'm pretty sure it was like 3-2 or 4-1 like covered that first quarter spread. So maybe that's the play tonight. Take some first quarter spreads.
Well, how about in this game? Suns, Nuggets. I'll look at the first quarter spread. You could tell by this line, Nuggets probably aren't going to play anybody. I threw them in a money line parlay with the Blue Jays, the Suns. It's gotten away from me now. It's -520. Suns laying 10.5, total 224. What's the angle here for this one?
Suns are the only team in the West that have won more than 2 games in a row in this little stretch. But I'm going to actually wait and see how the game's going. If it's like a 10-point game around halftime, I'm going to take the Suns third quarter. They're a very good scoring third quarter team, even though they didn't cover. Okay, actually, what's crazy, let me give you a real quick story. I love taking the Suns third quarter. I think Monty's just so good at halftime adjustments. Their line was set at 3.5 against the Spurs. And the total was set at 57.5. And I was like, or 59.5. And I was like, wow, this just kind of feels like it's going to land on 3. So I parlayed money line instead, not because I was afraid that the Spurs, of the Spurs, I was afraid of like a low period for the Suns, just because it's against the team that they don't care about. So for the first 10 minutes of the third quarter, my money line's in trouble because the Suns aren't even playing. They're just like passing the ball around, taking terrible shots. They call a timeout, score 10 straight points, and win the third quarter by 3 points. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did they score the final point of the game?
That's all that matters.
In that game, I turned it off when they went up by like 20 something. I don't know.
That's when the game starts. The final possession of a 25-point game. That's when the fun starts.
That's when the fun starts. The final minute. That's where it gets sweaty. Yeah, I think the angle here was the Suns, if you got them at the 7 at open. Now that's 11, I think that's kind of, I mean, once you get to double digits, I feel like in a game like this, double digits is like the cutoff point where 10.5, 11s get kind of wonky, especially if it's like a 13-point game. You know, Nuggets going to score last. They might hit a 3, so that might crush your dreams there. So I think that was really the angle. If anything, I mentioned it on the show we did on Tuesday here. I didn't take it. I felt like an idiot. Remember I mentioned Kevin Durant's under maybe because how much he's really going to be trying or playing out there.
Under 23.
He stayed under by a long shot. I think it was 19.
Yeah.
And he was like 27.5. I don't know what his line is currently, but that's another angle where if you think that maybe he just kind of mails it in. Yeah, 25.5. Actually, 25.5 is a lot different than 27.5, so maybe not. But yeah, that's like maybe the only angle is kind of like we talked about the Sixers. If they get up or if they just mail it in and it kind of a weird game for them, it might just be better to lay off or go under.
So that's all the games tonight. Again, it's a very, very wonky sort of card. Boy, if you look at tomorrow, some of the DraftKings has some of the games up tomorrow. How about the Rockets and the Hornets tomorrow night? You know, get your girl, get some food to, you know, curl up and watch the Rockets and the Hornets.
I have tickets to the Phillies game, and I'm going to the bars after. I might have to cancel that. That's a
you might
big
have
one.
to. I think you do have to.
Pistons
Pacers is tomorrow. Mavericks Bulls, which is a game we talked about, it has playoff implications. Mavs are 7.5-point favorites, so you know, OKC's going to have to win probably both these games. I don't think Dallas is losing either one of these games. Is there anything awards before we get to awards? Cavs -180, Knicks +150 first round. Is that worth a bet on the Knicks? Is that worth a bet on the
honestly,
Cavs?
I might lean Cavs only because is Julius Randle going to be ready? They said 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I thought I heard Thibodeau say he was pretty optimistic about. You never know. With these coaches.
Tibbs would play him toward ACL. He doesn't really care. Like, he's gonna see 40 minutes whether he likes it or not. But what's he gonna be? Is he gonna be effective? That's the. I have a lot of friends who are Knicks fans. I think it's my favorite running joke is that there's games where they're up 26 and like you just see Randall and Brunson at the scoring table and it's like why?
Yeah.
But yeah, he'll probably play. But yeah, I wonder how effective he's going to be because he's kind of becoming a big part of that offense with him and Brunson in that 2-man.
I think the Cavs win. I think the Cavs win this pretty easily. I don't know. It's not a 7-game series to me.
I think it'll probably be the best. I think definitely be the best series in the East. I think it'll be really good. I think because you know what it is.
I think there are going to be a lot of good games. I don't know, man. I just rate the Cavs a lot higher than the Knicks, especially with the Knicks like somewhat struggling at home. It's not
that's going to be that Garden's crazy though.
It's nuts.
I'll say this.
Bing bong.
I'll say this. I probably don't have a play for either of these sides right now. But if the Knicks take game 1, I might look at the Cavs. Yeah. Like even if it's like a +1.5 at like a really juiced, I might look into that market.
Yeah, I was going to say if you're the Cavs, I think you probably got to get the first 2 because if you're 1-1 going back to New York, if New York can steal one of the first 2, I think New York wins the series. I think it'll be a great series. I really do.
It depends how well
I like their bench better.
Their bench is
Yeah.
really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they all
All
scored
right, you guys are
30
talking
there
me
today.
into Knicks a little bit more.
Yeah. I'll say this, the Cavs, I like the Cavs as long as the only thing with them is the Knicks are playing so much faster with Brunson under their belt now, where if the Cavs can really slow things down and make the make Julius Randle score in half court offense, that's gonna kind of be the key because he can really throw bricks in the half court offense if he's actually defended. So that's the only thing is if they can get Randle to start doing these like 9 for 30 games or 6 for 21s, like those kind of games where they can kind of shut down the volume. I think that's going to be the key. But yeah, I do think it'd be the best series to watch.
And I think, boy, I get excited for these. I don't know if you guys like betting them. I think there's a ton of value. Exact series score. So if you like the Cavs, hey, I think the Cavs are going to win in 7, and you get it 4-1, 5-1. I might just bet that series to go to 7 or bet the Knicks plus 1.5. I don't know, because I do think that's a long series. I think Knicks will have a good home court, bench advantage. So I'm intrigued by the plus 150. I might just wait and see if I can get like a correct series score because
they don't have those out yet, right?
No, I don't think
if I get, I'll tell you this: if I get plus 125 or better on both of them, I might just put like $100 on 6 and 7, and
it's not a 5-gamer. I don't think that's going 5.
Yeah, I think 6 or 7. It would depend on the value because if I'm risking like 2 units, only 1.25, it wouldn't be worth it. But if I get like good odds on like say 6, I'll look into that 6 or 7.
And if you think the Knicks are going to win, you probably have to do it in 6 because it's hard to win Game 7 on the road. So your map would probably be split the first 2,
especially in the roaring city of Cleveland. That's playing
right. Well, they haven't had.
No, they get up. They've been waiting for this for a while. I think they'll get up for the game.
It's weird to say the Cavs haven't had a lot of playoff success because they have, but all that's with LeBron. This is sort of a new feel. There's a new feeling to it. Without LeBron, it'll be fun. And yeah, I'm tempted to take the plus 150. The Knicks are good. I don't think the Knicks are a threat to. Boy, let's see. Would they have to play Milwaukee? I don't think they can beat Milwaukee. I don't know that the winner of this can beat Milwaukee, but I think this will be a good series. I think this will be.
I kind of think it'd be really funny though if it's like Cleveland has to like ever go to Milwaukee because that'd be a funny series just because it's like the 2 most obscure cities in America just playing against each other.
Yep, no doubt. Anything awards that's worth betting before these go off the board here soon?
I don't think so. If anything, I think Malcolm Brogdon, if he's still 3-1 for 6th man of the year, that's the only like.
Oh, don't say that. Don't say that.
I'm just saying.
Nice quickly tickets. I think I get your point. I don't.
I'm not saying I think it's Quickly's award, but I did see some like rumbling about talking about Quickly's been doing a lot of this in the starting lineup, this and that. But I don't think it's gonna matter. But I'm just saying if you're asking me if there's any value on the board, that's probably the only place if you can get them like 3.5 to 1.
Yeah. 3-1 at DraftKings. Let's see. Quickly is minus 500. Let's see here.
And once again, that also comes into what we were saying earlier. If you have a nice Quickly ticket and you want to, secure a position, that's kind of where at this point in the year, that's kind of where futures come into play. You're not going to get the value on anybody.
Yeah. Do you think Markkanen's win most improved or SGA? Markkanen minus 300 now. It's the lowest it's been in a while. SGA's plus.
SGA made a really good push. If they make the playoffs, I mean,
they probably won't.
Yeah, it's tough though. I mean, if they can do that, that kind of goes a long way for them.
Yeah. Yep, I'm with you. I think I'd probably take a shot at SGA. I think he's just a more name brand player. I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit bigger name.
All right. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, I bet Fenerbahce first half money line. Game's just starting in the Turkish Cup.
All right.
Yeah. And to close out, also you mentioned Suns Blue Jays. You did a parlay there. I took Kevin Gausman. I took him 6 strikeouts and a win. I like Toronto again today. For
anything else you like in baseball?
I took Kyle Freeland under 3.5 strikeouts, which is going to be really funny to watch.
Sweaty.
It's he's going to pitch 6 innings, but he's in Coors. He's in Coors. He only. Fun fact about Kyle Freeland. I should have texted this, Will. Last week he went 6 innings, 2 swinging strikes. He had a whiff rate of 5.5%. So he gets a K verse lineup. I actually got at plus 110. It's now minus 150. So I'm a little scared that there's too much CLV. But I think that's 2 good plays. I've been enjoying baseball so far.
I'm a sucker for Josiah Gray, so I'll probably have some bet on him, and I'll end up regretting it with his strikeouts or something. That's a high total.
Just take 4 strikeouts and parlay it with 4 earned runs allowed if you can.
Yes. Some homer prop and some walk prop. Absolutely. All right, Brad, Brian, appreciate you guys. Pickett Sports, Boom Fantasy. Thank you guys. Good luck with all your plays. We'll be back next week. See you next time.